Hi, welcome to another edition of Onside SA, the soccer show that gives you all the info around South Africa, around Europe, and of course the British leagues. Budge, we're again a very good week for the onside punters.
A lot of them squeaked in again, Paul, by the Arsenal guys. But
Spurs boys, 150 of them squeaked in with an injury time goal. Arsenal went, their run was ended by Southampton. 15 went there, Leicester 3. Huddersfield lost 3 and Fulham 1. So of the 294, we got 272 left. But that's a hell of a lot still.
Well, the guys are slowly working out how to play, Paul. If there is a good thing.
I believe the strategy master is Raymond Horn. Now, he's been giving lessons. He's favourite at the moment because he's picked bad teams to start.
Yeah, he's done all the plotting. As a Mansfield boy, I can't believe it. He's got a strategy. But he's lecturing the guys.
He probably speaks to his brother, Reggie Shalembi.
Well, he's keeping that behind closed doors. But he's got a strategy. He was lecturing the guys at the Tote last night, so time will tell.
Let's see, time will tell if Raymond Horn comes through. But Raymond, you're one of 272 going through. So get your selections. We just want to update you because it's Christmas time, which days we'll be using on the last one standing. And Budge, I just want to qualify this. Yeah. Here, Budge has written it out here. Boxing Day, Wednesday, 26th, we are not doing it. It doesn't fall part of the plan. But after that, Saturday the 29th, and 3 days later or 2 days later, on the 1st of January, we are doing, and then we go back to that date. But
Paul, there's a FA Cup on that Saturday the 7th or the 6th or the 7th. Yes. So we've included the New Year fixtures.
Right way. Because I want to get rid of a few people. I want to see if Horn's still going. You've got to get Horns. But right, Stevie B, international pundits in the London studio. Steve, you live? Stevie, how are we doing? Well, we're not picking up Stevie there. We're getting a bit of slack or flack or whatever you want to call it, Budge. No, can they just try and get Stevie clear again? We have to talk to him because, funny enough, he's gone 3 weeks and he's still in the competition.
Even Garth Whitehead, our man Colours.
Colours still in?
Well, he used to be known as FAFO, first in, first out. He survived 3 weeks, so good luck to Garth.
How are we doing with Stevie B, guys? Any joy? We're not getting Stevie.
Morning.
Oh, there we go. Morning, Stevie. How are you, pal?
Very well, thank you. And I'm sure you are too after last night's game.
Oh, absolutely. Fantastic.
That's before the draw, though, Steve.
Yeah. No, we don't worry about the draw. We're not worried about the draw. We've got to take our chances.
Somebody had to get Burton, and obviously it was City's day, as it were.
Yeah.
Is it Burton or Burnley?
Burton Albion, yeah.
Burton.
I'd love to have got that. Whoa, I thought it was Burnley. Sorry.
Well, I mean, good luck to them. They're lying 15th in League One.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to beat any of the other 3 teams over 2 legs. So it's going to be a cracker. Tottenham-Chelsea games are always close.
Yeah, they always are. And where are these games played?
Well, I think that talking
away.
last night, that they're not sure they can get Wembley, so Tottenham played their last game at Milton Keynes, so it's quite possible they might play the home leg at Milton Keynes again.
Oh, okay. So it's the first week in 8th of January.
First week in January, so obviously nowhere near ready to play at the new stadium. So, and I think Milton Keynes Stadium can hold about 30,000. I suspect they probably think that's enough for against Burton.
Okay. No, you mean Tottenham Chelsea. They won't. Surely they've got to play at a bigger stadium.
Sorry, Tottenham. Yeah, no, I don't. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what I mean. Milton Keynes evidently, would be happy to host it again.
Sure.
They may have to. I don't think they can get Wembley at short notice, evidently. So. That was what they were saying last night. It could all change in the next day or so.
Okay. Steve, on to the main talking point, obviously, is Jose Mourinho getting fired.
Of course, yeah.
Just a pity I never
took look, we've seen it, we've been speculating for weeks about it, and in the end, I guess, the talking was over and they decided enough was enough.
Yeah, as you say, you've got a £90 million or £88 million investment. He doesn't come on against Liverpool. He's asking for trouble, and when you saw the photos...
Yeah, I think there's obviously more going on behind the scenes that may never come out. It just, obviously, he hasn't looked happy. The players... if you just look at the way some of them are playing, they're obviously, better players than they look. And again, Pogba, huge game. you can't not play your, I guess your World Cup winner, as you say,
Yeah.
almost £90 million at the time world record signing, just sitting on the bench. Something's not right.
It was identical to David Moyes. United got beat 3-0 at Old Trafford. I was there, even though Liverpool got 3 penalties, and he was gone shortly afterwards. You can't not lose that game. And
I mean, I think it was
terrible.
this isn't something that's just happened overnight.
Yeah.
This is obviously something they've been mulling over for a little while, and I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think, just as we said before, it was just a very poor performance. It could have been way more than the 3-1.
Yeah, should have been.
Had United have even got a point out of it, it would have been unjustified.
Yeah, just masking the cracks. It's obviously Ferguson's got, or Sir Alex has, pulled the strings. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Mark Phelan back. Be interesting now what happens.
I mean, it's interesting. Obviously people were speculating about the sort of bigger names coming in, but I guess they obviously, they're not going to get the Pochettinos sort of overnight, or the big name managers. So they obviously feel that the stopgap is to bring a caretaker in, and depending on how things go, then obviously plan in the summer. Whether or not Solskjaer does a good enough job to warrant keeping the job, remains to be seen. But obviously, I think there are sort of bigger names out there, and he's had sort of moderate success with a Norwegian team, and he's won an only
Molde,
spell in the UK when he managed Cardiff. Didn't do very well. So I think it would be a gamble for them to think about offering him a long-term contract at this stage.
I think there's 2 big names in mind. Obviously, the Tottenham and Pochettino. I think's the guy that they want. I don't think he will take it. The guy I would like to see get it is Max Allegri, the Juventus guy.
Zidane's name's been thrown up quite a few times.
I mean, it's I guess United are a big club.
Yeah.
Some would say with their history, about the biggest in the world, but it doesn't necessarily follow that whoever they want will necessarily come. I mean, I think if they wanted Pochettino, you'd think that he would come. I think whether he feels he's done what he can do at Tottenham, if obviously they're moving into a magnificent new stadium, but if the rumours are true that there isn't going to be sort of money available for a while, then maybe he can't take them much further than he has. So
I just think if Zidane was available, or if they wanted Zidane, they would have got him. Surely, Steve.
Yes, I think they obviously wanted to get somebody in place straight away, and I think Tottenham would not let Pochettino go quickly.
No, quite rightly,
Not without a lot of haggling over. He signed a new 5-year contract, I believe it was, sort of only a few months ago. They're having paid out a lot of money potentially for Mourinho. They'd have to pay even more to get Pochettino, I'm sure. So. But there'll be a lot of speculation, and I think at the moment, obviously the first thing first, United have got a number of games coming up. And I think they've got to get back into. Be interesting to see how those players perform who have been underperforming, how they play away at Cardiff on Saturday.
Yeah. Let's look at the Champions League draw. With 4 teams having gone through from the UK. What do you think?
Well, I think City have got a plum draw for them. I mean, Schalke are having a terrible time. They lost again last night. And they're something like 14th or 15th in the Bundesliga. I can't see City slipping up at all over 2 legs. The other games, I think United have got the hardest game. If you look at it now in the cold light today, you can't see United beating PSG over 2 legs.
No chance.
And the others are going to be quite interesting. I think that Liverpool, Bayern Munich. I just fancy Liverpool. I think Bayern are just, got a sort of a slightly aging team there.
Yeah.
Some of their better players are coming to the end of their sort of careers at that level. And I think Liverpool, they need to get a first leg lead and then sort of play a bit better away. But I think that's going to be a cracking game. And Tottenham-Dortmund. I mean, Dortmund are the standout team in the Bundesliga this year. So Tottenham are going to have to be at their very, very best to get through that.
Yes, they got beaten midweek, Steve. They cost us a soccer 10, a lower team.
Did Dortmund beat them?
Fortuna Düsseldorf beat Dortmund in midweek, but
that's
still they're going well.
I believe that was their first defeat, if that was in the league.
Yeah.
Or first or second. So Tottenham got to go with a bit of confidence. But again, Liverpool, Tottenham, United are all at home first. So I think they're going to need to get for those of those 3 that might want to go that want to go through, they're going to have to get first leg leads, I think.
Yeah, I agree. United have got no chance. The other 3, I think, got great chances
you
to go
can't
through.
see United beating PSG over 2 legs. But again, between now and when the last 16 games, you might have United might just have a new lease of life, and those players that we've been talking about, the Pogba's of this world, may just step up to show the sort of form that we know they're capable of.
Yeah,
Okay, but let's get back to your beloved Fulham. You go to Newcastle?
Well, I mean, they now have a run of games where they basically have to pick up points. Otherwise, it's going to look they'll start to get cut adrift. Newcastle away, we've got a reasonable record there. Last time we played them, the season they went up 2 years ago, we completely outplayed them up there, and Sessegnon had a wonderful game, scored 2 goals. I think it'll be tight. I don't think there'll be much in it. Newcastle are not scoring goals at home. They've lost 7 of their 9 home games, only scored 7 goals. I think the key for us is to try and find a way to keep a clean sheet. If we do that, we've got half a chance. But I think it's going to be very tight.
Okay. Steve, the big game obviously is the Wolves-Liverpool game on Friday night. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, I mean, Wolves, it's funny. I mean, a few weeks ago, they showed no form at all, sort of 5 defeats out of 6. All of a sudden, they come back with 3 wins in a row and much better performances. I still think, though, that Liverpool will be too strong. I think Liverpool have got the bit between their teeth. They're sitting to the top of the table. They're going to want to try and extend that lead if they can before City play. I think Liverpool will edge that one.
Okay, and the last Premiership game, Everton, Tottenham on Sunday.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tight game. I mean, Everton, you're not quite sure what you're going to get on their day. That they are a strong team. Tottenham had obviously a tough game last night. I think that's going to be tighter than people think. Again, if Tottenham show the form we know they're capable of, they could win it. But I think that's going to be tight, probably a draw.
Yeah. Hope not.
Okay, we haven't had a draw. We haven't had a draw all year, Steve. So you can put that in your pipe and smoke it.
I think that would be a big game to go and win.
Yeah.
I think that really would.
Yeah.
They weren't very good last time out at home, Everton, when they played against Watford.
Funny enough, Everton haven't played that badly against the Big Six.
No.
Have you noticed?
Especially at home.
Yeah, at home.
No,
yes.
so it'll be a good game. I mean, that's the Sunday game, so looking forward to that.
Sunday.
Steve, onto the Championship, 2 teams with title hopes or promotion hopes. Aston Villa Leeds on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean that's the sort of standout game in the Championship.
Yeah.
I mean, Leeds sitting pretty at the top. With Norwich doing very well. Villa are just sort of clawing their way back into it. I think it's a big game. Going to be a big crowd there at Villa Park. I think it'll be tight. I think if Villa sort of go at them all guns blazing, I think they might just pip that one. But they do seem to be sort of conceding goals.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a really good game. I think Villa might just pip it though.
Okay, Rotherham, West Brom.
Yeah, I mean, Rotherham are one of those teams that you sort of fancy to go sort of straight back down again, but their home form is, still keeping them up there. I think West Brom will be too strong though. I think West Brom should win that one away, even though it's away.
And the team that got beat to midweek, Middlesbrough, they go to Reading. How do you see that one ending up?
Yeah, I mean, Middlesbrough just seem to be showing sort of very little form at the moment. I mean, they lost during the week. They lost at QPR, which was a bad defeat for them, having sort of, lost to Villa week before that. I think they've got to bounce back. Reading, obviously now without their, having sacked their manager, I think Middlesbrough might just need to show some form, or they're falling. I think Middlesbrough might just pip them.
The last Championship game, Steve, Notts Forest at home to QPR.
Yeah, I mean, Forest, it was, you wouldn't have seen it, but it was quite a very feisty game at Derby on Monday night.
Who won that game?
Sort of East Midlands Derby. I think Forest would be too strong for QPR. I mean, obviously they came unstuck last time out at home against your Preston, but I think they'll bounce back, and I think they'll just edge that one.
Steve, back to the Premiership. If there's an upset, I know you called it last week with Southampton.
I know. I mean, that was as a Fulham fan sitting level on points with Southampton, that was the one
last
result
thing you
I
wanted.
didn't want to see, but I just had a feeling that they would just, with a sort of new manager bounce, and obviously it was. Christmas came early for them with the goalkeeping display by Bertolino, and so I can't see a big upset. I think when you look at the teams at the top, I mean, Arsenal got Burnley. I just can't see Burnley win. I know Arsenal have stuttered a bit the last couple of games. You might think that Everton have got half a chance against Tottenham. I think of the teams.
No chance.
But I thought that really realistically Southampton, Arsenal, but again I can't see Cardiff beating United. I can't see Wolves beating Liverpool somehow. So
who Man City got?
City and winning. So it's, for me, I suppose in a way it'd be a shock to see Fulham keep a clean sheet and win. I mean that would be
that's your upset.
For us.
All right,
Stevie. The key question, Stevie. You've gone into week 4 in the last one standing. We're getting
I
rain
had
here now.
stuttered through, haven't I? I had Arsenal with an 80 or 84th minute winner.
Yeah.
I've got Tottenham last week with the 90th minute winner.
It's got to stay in, Steve.
I think I'm going to play safe and go for Man City this week.
Good boy, Steve.
They'll just get me through to the new year.
That'll get you to 5. No, might not get you through the new year. Just want to remind you, we've got nothing on Boxing Day, but we've got the 29th, the Saturday, and we have the 1st. So don't go gallivanting around Europe somewhere.
No, it's just uncharted territory for me to get through to week 4. So, well, let's see how we go.
Lovely.
All right, Steve.
Stevie, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Have a good Christmas, guys. Talk to you next week.
You too, Stevie. Well,
bye.
I hope he's wrong with Everton, that they can get a draw.
Well, they're always
a threat.
I've been a good as St. Paul. It's a great little stadium, and they'll be fired up.
The poor side of Liverpool.
Yeah, other side of Stanley Park.
Yeah, other side of Stanley Park. All right. We've cut through. Everyone seems to know we've done the League Cup results. Just let you know that 8th of January we spoke about. Let's quickly go over the Champions League draw. Just let you know what's going on. The dates are 12th and 13th and 19th.
Yeah, what they do, they split up February. Yeah, because there's 16 teams. One team will play the first Tuesday, Wednesday. And it'll only be, and then the next week, the next 8 will play, and so they go,
Okay, I'm just going to run through them quickly because some of you might not support the British teams. You might fancy some of the international, the European teams. Let's go. Man United versus PSG, Roma, Porto, Tottenham, Dortmund, Ajax, Real Madrid, Lyon, Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, Schalke, Man City, Atletico Madrid, and Juventus. Great football. Remember those days? Those only happen in February.
Yep.
But let's get on to Premiership, Budge, because interesting listening to Steve. He's got some thoughts. And he thinks the big teams will keep pressing for the league, and it looks like Man City and Liverpool going to be fighting.
Your boys are hanging in there, Paul.
Yeah, we are. We're not far adrift.
You win games, Paul. The difference is
we never draw.
Yeah, I think it's 9-2. But first game's a good game. Hopefully, we should have it.
We'll
Wolves
have it tomorrow night, 10 o'clock. Budge, how do you see it?
You got to fancy Liverpool, Paul. The way they're going. But Wolves play with 3 at the back with a sweeper. So,
When you say 3 at the back with a sweeper,
they
play...
play 3 and there's always a sweeper at
Is he one of the 3?
Yeah, he's one of the 3, So
they got those Portuguese players who can play a bit.
they can play Moutinho and Neves in the middle of the park. But Liverpool, Paul, at the moment, even from a United man, they look strong, they fired up, and you've got to fancy them.
If there is any little chink in their arm, and I think they're a great side this year, is their away form. If you compare it to their home form, only comparing it to their home form. Their home form, they're invincible. They don't concede goals.
Well, they just come out flying, and it's the manager. He did the same thing at Dortmund.
Yes.
He doesn't sit back. You don't die wondering. Have a full go.
No, he will. And he's got the players to have a full go. But
I don't think he's got that many great players, but he's got them fired up, Paul, and they're well organised and they're happy to be there.
Napoli away, they weren't good.
Yeah, they got murdered. Even PSG, they didn't get the penalty before half time. That could have been 3 or 4.
That's right. So I'm just saying, I'm looking for the only chink. I think they're an excellent side, and they're proving they can win the league.
Yeah, I wouldn't be taking 5 to 10, Paul, but
neither
you've got to fancy them.
Neither would I. Arsenal, Burnley. Arsenal have to bounce back now.
Paul, this is I watched Burnley quite a while against your boys Spurs. I thought they fought hard.
But they left one man up front. They played 9 out players in the goalie.
If they'd gone for it, they'd have got beat. Don't be surprised if something goes wrong for Arsenal. There's trouble definitely with Mesut Ozil. He wasn't even in the squad last night. You play Wednesday night, a bad result, and it's a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. So they haven't got much time to prepare. Burnley will be waiting for them, Paul.
The league form at home's good.
No, it's excellent. Other than Man City, I think no one else has beaten them there.
Arsenal, were beaten by good side Spurs.
Yeah.
They beat Spurs.
Yeah.
They're a good team. Burnley are going to park the bus.
They're going to park the bus, Paul, and try and get a set piece. I think there could be a few goals here, Paul, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw.
Burnley won't score that many, Budge.
No, they just need one, Paul. But they were organised and desperation. That's the upset. If there is one for the week.
I think Bournemouth have to beat Brighton to get their season back running.
Paul, they've lost 6 of the last 7.
That's it. They've got to turn
Brighton
it around.
played well against. I didn't watch much of it, but they fought hard. They're well organised.
I watched it. Yeah, they can play.
And
he's very good, that manager.
Yeah, Chris Hughton. That's one of your
Spurs
boys. Paul, I don't like Bournemouth here. Drawn Brighton for me, Paul. They played their best team last night against Chelsea.
Yes.
They got beat late. Brighton will be sitting waiting for them. They always score goals. Callum Wilson's back.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be a good game.
Be a tight game, but I like Brighton, the 2 teams.
Yeah. Chelsea, Leicester.
Well, the trick is Eden Hazard. They said he wasn't going to play last night. He came on and scored the goal.
Yeah.
For me, he's the best player in the league, Hazard, at the moment. got to be 1-3. Won't be in my bets, but you got to fancy Chelsea.
Leicester City have got the ability to also. When they've got the Vardy, didn't they?
He's up front. He'll be over the top. It's just
Vardy, we have
Vardy's
to go.
there. Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. They've got a couple of boys in the midfield. They're not a bad side.
Bora,
but Chelsea are good at home.
Chelsea, they're flying around. False number 9 for Hazard. Should be too good for Leicester.
Okay, Huddersfield, Southampton.
Huddersfield lost their last 4, Paul. Had a good little run. They've been battling to score goals. I watched the Southampton-Arsenal game. They fought hard. 2 of the best crosses of the weekend whipped in for the first 2 goals.
That cross from Long to Austin to win. How was that inch perfect? And the fisherman came?
Yeah, that Leno. I don't know where he is.
Don't know where he is. The fisherman came and it went over him and boom.
Bang, 3-2. They've had a bit of luck because Arsenal had chances, but the luck they never got.
Arsenal's second goal was a good deflection.
Yeah, deflection. But there were a lot of half chances that didn't go for Arsenal. But I'm glad he's got them fired up, and it wouldn't surprise me if they carry on with it, even though the draw's a big player. Yeah.
What's his track record like, the new Southampton
Well, he got promoted the Bundesliga, teams nobody heard of. He went to RB Leipzig, ran second.
So he knows his
stuff. He's Austrian guy, hard working. Paul,
is
on
he
the
first
pitch.
Austrian boss in the TSA?
Yeah.
Okay, then Man City 1-6.
I always looked at
the 1-6.
Well, you should, Paul. I looked at even money to win both halves.
That's a great bet.
That's the bet. Or 5.5 to 10 to score in both halves.
That's the bet of the year.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they have to win. They just have to score both halves.
5.5 to score in each half. 5.5 to 10 to win both halves. They even money.
Okay, sure.
I don't see Palace scoring, so if they score in each half, they should get the result. Yeah.
Okay, Newcastle, Fulham.
Fulham have lost the last 7 away games, Paul. They're terrible. The only game they drew was at Brighton. You've got to fancy Newcastle. They come alive. I think this will be an open game. Fulham only know one way, but I fancy Newcastle to roll.
Fulham going to have a go.
They always have a go. Mitrovic going back to his old club.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't see, hopefully for Steve they get a result, but I can't see it. Newcastle.
West Ham, Watford, interesting.
Yeah, West Ham, they got given a couple of goals last week against Fulham. It won't be easy against Watford. No. London derby, 5-2, a draw looks a good player there, Paul.
Cardiff got it all to do.
I think if Mourinho hadn't have been there, you could maybe have seen an upset, but not now, Paul. But they've won the last 5 home games, Cardiff.
Do you know? I want to ask you a question. You're a Man United supporter, and you looked at Jose Mourinho, who's just been fired. He won 3 trophies in his first year.
Yeah.
He was trophyless second year, but he ran second in the league.
Yeah.
He ran a very good second. Now that same squad.
Well, they haven't performed, Paul.
But they haven't lost players.
No, we've actually added players.
That's right, and they haven't performed.
So our best players haven't performed. He's lost the dressing room. He looks a type of manager. You do 4 things right and 1 thing wrong. He'll harp on the thing you've done wrong instead of the 4 things right.
Well, it's come to be.
So it's come to a head with Pogba, and he's lost. So let's see. But the players hope they have to respond, Paul. There's no more excuses now.
Everton plays Spurs.
I like your voice.
Me too. I think Tottenham on the roll. I'm hoping, but I do understand, Steve. I remember one day I watched Spurs play there. They were 1-0 up Cantry, and the big boy up front scored 2 goals in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The 90th minute, 92nd minute, and we were beaten 2-1. But
that won't be easy. But they're a football playing team, Everton. That'll suit Spurs.
Yeah, that suit us.
I like Spurs. 12 to 10.
What's the Richarlison?
Richarlison. They've got
he doesn't
Bernardo,
like a knock. He takes a dive. He doesn't, but he can play.
They're trying to play football.
Yeah, he can
play. I think
play.
he'll play into Spurs' hands.
Yeah, and they've got a boy in the midfield too, a youngster.
Yeah,
a good player. So they can play, but we've got to put our best side out, and we've got to try and keep our.
I think defensively they'll give you a chance, and Harry Kane will nip 1 or 2. That's what I think.
Okay, let's go Championship. Championship's heating up nicely.
Flying, Paul.
Blackburn, Norwich, Budge.
Yeah, Blackburn, good home record, but the way Norwich are going, I think they've lost one of the last 14. They've won 11 of them. But they concede goals. I think a draw's a big player in this game, Paul. Blackburn, I think it's only Leeds that's beat them at home this year.
Brentford, odds on?
Can't have them, Paul. They've only won one of the last 14. But there again, Bolton are terrible as well. But their last 2 games, Bolton, got beat 1-0 at home against Leeds in a close game, got beat 3-2 at Norwich, conceded an injury time. Everyone's diving into the 5 to 10. I don't know, Paul. It's a field job for me. If anything, I think a draw in Bolton.
Derby County, Bristol?
Well, Bristol have come right. They're unbeaten in 4. They've got a lot of talented players at Bristol City. Derby, whenever you go for them, Paul, they always seem to have a glitch.
They have a draw.
They draw here and there. So Derby in a draw in that game.
They're still 4th.
They're still 4th. The game, well, it was Forest 0-0 on Monday night was a big game for them.
Tough game. Was it Derby home or away?
Derby were at home, yeah.
And then Ipswich Town, Sheffield United.
Ipswich won last week for the bottom of the league. They beat Wigan last week. Got a fancy Sheffield United, Paul, 7 to 10.
Okay, and then
Should be hard to beat.
Notts Forest 7th.
Yeah, I like Forest.
QPR,
Paul. I've
Wally
been
with
on
the
that.
brolly.
Yeah, away from home, not as good as possible. I like Forest, Paul. I've been banging that drum for ages. 11-2. So 11-10. They're in our bets.
I'll take
Forest.
11-2. Okay, and then we've got Reading,
Well,
or Ruddle is Reading at the
Reading,
moment,
yeah.
against Middlesbrough.
Well, Middlesbrough got beat
Sixth.
at home by Burton Albion in the League Cup. They played a lot of their main players, Paul. I know away from home, they've only lost 1 of 6, was at QPR last week. But they've won out the last 7 league games. Reading is struggling, even though their home form isn't bad. You've got to fancy Middlesbrough, the 2 teams, but I'm putting the draw in as well there, Paul, just in case.
Is it a big price for West Brom?
Yeah, I think so. But, rather than with a draw special, I think they've drawn 9 of the last 11. But West Brom have won the last 3 away games, Paul. I watched them beat Leeds. I think they're the best team in that league. I think they've got to win this
West
game.
Brom?
Yeah, I think they'll murder Rotherham.
8-10, good things.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday, your beloved Preston.
Preston, we had a lot of injuries, Paul. We beat Millwall 3-2 last week. Sheffield Wednesday are struggling. I'm surprised the manager hasn't been fired. They've only won 1 out of the last, I think it's 9. Hopefully this isn't the game they come back. A draw, a big player, but hopefully my boys can do it, Paul. But
Stoke City are way down, 11th.
Yeah, but they're unbeaten in 9, Paul. They drew
Well, they must have
2-2
been
at
18th,
they've drawn a lot of games. They drew 2-2 at Aston Villa. But there's not
yeah.
many points behind them. I think it's
Crouch
6th or
still with
7th. I think he is. I don't know if he started.
He was at the game last night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw
He was
him in
at
the
the
draw
game,
afterwards.
yeah.
Paul, Stoke looked the best bet of the weekend in the Championship. They can't beat Millwall. They've only got 3 points, I think, in the 11 away games. Got to be
7 to
Stoke.
10. So if you took a double, a lovely little double, West Brom into Stoke.
Yep.
Okay. Wigan Athletic
Wigan,
Birmingham.
Birmingham, funny game. Wigan at home are hard to beat. They had the good cup run last year. Remember, they knocked out Man City, but they're struggling league form. Birmingham had a great run under Gary Monk. Draw a big player for me there. If I had to side with a team, I like Birmingham with the 2 teams, but draw a big player in that one.
Hull City, a bit of a resurgence?
Yeah, a bit of a resurgence. I think it'll continue. Swansea, Jekyll and Hyde team, either win or they get beat. They sneaked in last week. We went for Hull last week. Going to carry on with Hull, Paul. 15-10.
And Villa, Leeds, great
Good game. Should be. Draw suit leagues. Yeah, Leeds are, they've come well. I think they've won 5 of the last 6. Aston Villa, this is it. They want to get into the promotion playoffs or automatic. They've got to beat Leeds at home, Paul. But I think there'll be plenty of goals in this.
Tough game. All right, let's
player.
go PSL, Budge. PSL, interesting. It's hotting
Yeah,
up
it's
as well,
hotting
too.
up, yeah.
I really like the PSL. Now, what do we got here, Budge?
Well, if it's Friday night game, they've got against Chipper. You've got to fancy 5 to 10 Vits get a result. But every time you think they're going to really take over the league, they have a
They are
glitch,
top of the league.
They are top, yeah. Bidvest Vits, they've got to beat Chipper.
Chipper 14th.
Yeah.
How about Usotu?
Sotu, local derby, playing in Mlazi Kings Willatini Stadium. They don't get beat there too often, Paul. I know a draw's a big player in the
Arrows?
local derby. Arrows, I don't know, I can't put my hand on Clinton Larson's team, Paul. But local derbies are always tight. Don't be surprised if it's a draw, but I'm a Zulu of the 2 teams for me.
Cape Town City, Bloem Celtic.
I've watched Bloem Celtic the last twice. They've been terrible. Don't know what's gone wrong with Steve Compella's team. Cape Town City at home, Paul.
Yeah.
15-10 looks an interesting bet, yeah.
Peter Marisburg against Barocca.
Paul, they can't score goals. I think they've played 14 league games and scored 5 goals.
Ooh.
Yeah, their last 10 home games, they've drawn 9. Yeah, Barocca struggling. They won the Telcom, but they're bottom of the league. They've won 1 out of 11. If Marisburg can't get a result here, Paul, they're in serious trouble.
Yeah. And then Highlands Park, who are 8th
Well,
place,
they've done well,
Super
Highlands.
Sport.
Yeah, they're slowly edging into the league. A draw a big player again. Super Sport experienced team. You've got to fancy them of the 2 teams, Paul, but 17-10 the draw looks the way
But
to
those
go.
the only games?
Those are the only games in the PSL.
Where
yeah.
are the Chiefs and
Well,
the
there's CAF
Pirates?
Confederations Cup games, so the big, I think, Chiefs, Pirates, and the Sundowns are playing in that competition.
Right, let's look at your soccer sixes.
Yeah. Yeah, kick-off. Obviously, it's early 2:30 kick-off on the Saturday. I've thrown the draw in, Paul, looking for a few upsets. You can see I bank at Barcelona. Park the bus. Yeah, just impressed with how they fought against Spurs. I've gone Arsenal win and draw looking for the upset. I like Amazulu win and draw at home against Arrows. Likewise, Cape Town City win and draw against Bloemfontein Celtic. I've banked at Barcelona to beat Celta Vigo. I've thrown the draw in looking for another upset with Cardiff and Man United. And I've gone Maritzburg win and draw at home against Barocca, 192.
Okay, your next one.
The next one's the English one. 3 bankers, 3 fields, as you can see. I've gone the field with Bournemouth, Brighton. I think Chelsea will be too good for Leicester. I've gone the field with Huddersfield, Southampton. Man City should be too good for Palace. And I like Newcastle this week to beat Stevie's Fulham. And I've gone the field in the West Ham Watford, 162.
Right, let's go look at the 10, Budge.
On to the 10, I've gone the field with Bournemouth Brighton. I've banked Chelsea to beat Leicester. I've gone the field with Huddersfield Southampton. I've banked Man City to beat Palace. Newcastle to beat Fulham. I've gone Norwich win and draw at Blackburn Rovers. Likewise, Middlesbrough win and draw at Reading. I've gone West Ham win and draw at home against Watford. I've banked United to beat Cardiff. And I've gone Hull City win and draw home against Swansea. 288.
Okay, now the big one.
The big one, the 13, Paul. I've banked Man City to beat Palace. Chelsea to beat Leicester. Man United to beat Cardiff. I've sided with Brighton win and draw at Bournemouth. Well, I've gone Southampton win and draw at Huddersfield. I think Newcastle will be too good for Fulham. I've gone West Ham win and draw at home against Watford. I've gone Norwich win and draw at Blackburn. Sheffield United looking for the upset win and draw at Ipswich. I've banked Notts Forest to beat QPR. I've gone Middlesbrough win and draw at Reading. I've banked West Brom to beat Rotherham. And I've gone the field in the Wigan-Birmingham game, Paul. Obviously, you want to halve your perm, bank Sheffield United, but spend 300 looking for the upset in that game.
Budge's best bets. Here we go, Budge. Talk me through this.
Yeah, Paul, I've kept you happy. I've gone Tottenham to win at Everton. I've gone Newcastle to beat Fulham and over 2.5 goals. I think there'll be goals in that game. I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Cardiff Man United game. And I've gone Man City to score in both halves against Crystal Palace. 3,500 to 200.
Championship.
Onto the championship, I've gone West Brom to beat Rotherham. I think Notts Forest will be too good for QPR. I've gone Stoke City to beat Millwall and over 2.5 total goals in the game. And then I've gone over 2.5 goals in the big game on Sunday, Aston Villa Leeds, 3,300 to 200.
Win and draw.
Win and draw 5. I've gone Brighton to get a positive result at Bournemouth. This is the one that hopefully will make it pay. Bolton to get a good result at Brentford. I've gone Hull City at home against Swansea. Gone to the German league looking for value. Wolfsburg are away at Augsburg. I think they'll get a good result. And I've gone for Levante to get a good result at Rayo Vallecano. 15-1, 3,200. Both teams to score sides are Arsenal, Burnley, Bournemouth, Brighton, Blackburn, Norwich, Hull, Swansea, and Aston Villa Leeds United, 2,900 to 200.
Okay, the Spanish omelette.
Spanish omelette, I've gone Seville to win at Leganes. I've gone Real Betis to beat Eibar. I've gone Barcelona to score in both halves against Celta Vigo. And I've gone both teams to score, Athletic Bilbao and Real Valladolid, 2,700 to 200.
And then the Collis King?
Collis King, 6 on XAR. I've gone Newcastle to beat Fulham. I've gone Stoke to beat Millwall. I've gone Juventus to beat Roma. I've gone RB Salzburg to beat Werder Bremen. I've gone Atletico Madrid to beat Espanyol and Valencia to beat Huesca, 2,700 to 200.
All right, there we go. But let me just tell you, we always do Budgie's best bet and his value bet. And his strike rate is phenomenal. And last week, best bet, Preston, 11 to 10. 11 to 10, guys. Boom, on you get. This week, Newcastle, even money at home to beat Fulham.
Yeah.
Your value beat of the weekend, last week, Hull City, 16 to 10, you punters. Yeah. This week, Hull City, 15 to 10. But are you from Hull?
Yep.
To Hull and back.
Hull and back. Yeah, Paul, there's just some teams like Spurs.
Yeah.
The bookies don't rate them.
Yes.
Yeah, and you always get a price where certain teams, they're just overvalued. Maybe it's because of the punting aspect, but, you know, some teams, and why not? Teams on a roll, playing well, they're at home.
Yeah. Well, I got to repeat it. Take the even money Newcastle, Bud says, for the best bet, and then the value bet at 15 to 10 is Hull City again. Don't forget your last one standing. There's a slew of people still in. There's going to be a mount of them falling off a precipice. Stevie B, I think, will stay in for another week.
Man City.
Are Bood and Ramsey still in?
No, they're all your boys are still in,
boys.
yeah.
Charlie Pigram's boys?
No, Charlie's out. Crystal Palace buried him now.
Charlie gone. He's useless.
No, he's hopeless.
And how about Mark Curry and
he's still got a lot of his
Weinstein,
troops.
the Joburg gang?
Larry's got one left. Joey's and all the boys are still going. Yeah,
they're still going. So it looks like a lot of fun. But the word is Raymond Horn. He's the guy who's got 3 legs through 3
He's got
weeks.
5 legs, 5 choices.
5 choices, and he's gone for bad sides. Interesting. Until next week, stay on side.